Okay, good evening, folks. It's my honor to welcome each and every one of you, the media, the public, and the staff. First order of business today is the public hearing on the OCP. And before we jump into OCP and the zoning bylaw, it's my honor to welcome each and every one of you to the last council meeting of the year of 2025. And we are gathered in the William Lake First Nations Swepnik people, thanks to the chief elder, the nation allowing us to do the business. Call of the order is done, and staff, please.
Your Worship, I'll read the explanatory note for the first bylaw to be considered in the public hearing, which is Bylaw 2429, the OCP. The purpose of bylaw number 2429 is to adopt the new City of Williams Lake Official Community Plan bylaw number 2429, 2025. This includes new land use designations and regulations based on current housing needs and a 20-year projection, amendments to development permit areas and amendments, and all-inclusive updates to the objectives and policies are based on community input and participation.
Just for council's purpose, Councillor Delaney, Councillor Nelson, as well as Councillor Lyons are under the weather, as a lot of cold and warm weather going on. So my suggestion to everybody is look after yourself. I believe Councillor Nelson is to the Zoom, Councillor Delaney and Councillor Lyon I haven't seen yet, but everybody else is present, and I'll make my comment later. So request to the council is no debate, no talking back and forth. It's only for public input from the public. Anybody wanted to speak? We have received a lot of input, and I could not walk further without thanking to the contractor, to our staff. They done a hell of a job collecting all the information, attending meeting, online, and in-house. Only God knows how much. I had all the paperwork here, where we got all the information. And there's hundreds and hundreds of people in the open house, including Chief Seller. He came, he helped us. And thanks to everybody. Now I think we had a member of the public like to address. Please, sir. Floor is yours.
Talkie face guy.
Push the button.
The talk face.
Oh. Thank you, Ms. Lloyd. Thank you.
You're the only one that gets my sense. Residents of the community, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Council members. My name's Pickford, John Pickford. I'm a resident of the community for 35 years. I call myself the happy taxpayer. Happy to pay my fair share if it's spent prudently, and I'm not supporting dubious tax exemptions to corporations. Not to be confused with what I call the ecstatic taxpayer. A fellow wrote a recent letter to the editor where he was ecstatic about paying taxes. I'm not quite there yet. Anyway, I'm here to speak to the OCP, Official Community Plan. By the way, that's 188 pages. Very interesting. A lot of work went into that. Honor is due, Mesdames Vinkamp, Ball, and Whitehead, and Mr. Bernardi. It's a lot of work. And the Cityscape Ventures, the contractor. No, it's very interesting, a lot of very interesting information there. No stone left unturned. Just a couple of submissions and maybe questions. I'm not really happy. It's outside our bailiwick, but the province, I consider it somewhat reminiscent of Stalinist Russia, a top-down control of what happens at municipal level, which was previous left to a municipality for zoning and public hearings, which are no longer allowed. Residential zoning now is no longer allowed under Bill 4447. I'm not happy about that. By the way, I think it's 15, 16 mayors the last couple of days, Metro Vancouver sent a letter to Mr. Eby, basically pointing out the usurping of the local community's powers and elected bodies. One size fits all doesn't work, they say. Housing targets are set, mandatory zoning. Mandatory housing targets, that doesn't sit well with me. Again, this is old news, but just letting you know some of my concerns. Yeah, it's not the way I like it. It's the top-down demands and imposition, which should be the other way around for local zoning and housing information. And also, this surprises me too. The mayors say this, and you can correct me if it's wrong. Within this mandate from the province of how many housing units have to be made and quotas, et cetera, there's no mention of infrastructure funding for the water, sewer, roads necessitated by this imposition of housing increase. Am I correct? There was no corollary? No? Okay, well, do the math. That doesn't balance, but I may be preaching to the converted here, but I'm just letting you know my concerns. Lack of infrastructure, yeah, they're not happy down there. And also, what I would say is, if in some time in the future, this council or others here may want to challenge Mr. Eby and company on this, I'd be perfectly happy about that. I mean, anyway, moving on to the OCP, again, it's a very interesting document, 188 pages. Again, public hearings prohibited during rezoning for residential development aligned with the OCP. That's BC legislature. That's not a happy situation, but all the more reason to hope that it's going to work out, the OCP. Here's an interesting fact that I found. The population projections, page 14, anybody following at home, page 14, lower right-hand corner, not the PDF numbering, but the actual document numbering, page 14. Population projections, 2021, 10,900. 2046, 10,700. An actual decrease in 25 years. That was surprising. That surprised me. Well, having worked with StatsCan in the past, managing a census here, among other things, I've seen declines here and there. The housing need report, this is on page 51 to 2024, it goes from 508 a year housing needed to 1,547 in 20 years, additional housing needed. But that's contradicted, that's opposite, the inverse of what the population projection. So I don't know how that can jive. The population is decreasing by 2046, but the housing need is going to be up to 1,547. I don't know how you can reconcile the two, the contradictions. Page 21, I like this, vision and guiding principles. Quote, small town livability, maintain small town feel of Williams Lake. Hallelujah. Again, is that going to be able to be maintained? I mean, the Poplar Glade site, what's the housing there? Was it 1,200 units? I forget, 800 units projected there? Poplar Glade? Last time I was here, I wrote it down. Anyway, it's a lot of units are going to be on stream there, demanding water, sewer, and roads. And will that be a small town livability with if the roads are able to manage it or not? Anyway, I'm just letting you know. Anybody who's talking about these things, you have to talk from a selfish. There's two sides to this. Do you want more housing? Do you need it? And is the small town livability going to exist? Well, here I'll just. Bear with me here while I do. Here's the housing going up, but the livability could be going down. So where they intersect, it's not a happy. It's not livable. It's not a small town feel. That's one thing I have to. I have to express. You know. Oh, here's an interesting one. By the way, I'm almost finished. Page 56, establish protection for renters. That's wonderful news, because in 2022, the previous council attended the UMBC, Union of Municipalities of BC. Yeah. A resolution was on the floor from another municipality, and that resolution was asking the province to legislate that when a rented unit comes vacant, it can't be raised more than the usual percentage, which is accounted for. But now and then, it's unlimited. That vote failed by 7 votes over the membership of the UMBC. Williams Lake Council, which consists of 2 members today still here, voted against that resolution. So that would ask the province to limit the raising of rents between renters. So this is a change. I'm happy to see that you're looking after protection for renters. Bicycle parking, what's up? The bicycle parking with the zoning? I'm moving on to the zoning, you'll forgive me here. I'm wrapping up. What's the bicycle parking, the new developments is mandated for single units? What does that mean? A space or a place to lock it up? What's that mean? The parking for bicycle, what's that entail?
Can we reply the question right now? or-
It's just a factual response, yes.
Okay, Mr. Maraca, please.
Mayor, I'll pass that off to, I'll pass that off to our planner. for
Yes,
comment on that.
yes, Your Worship, it's spaces and then also consideration for amenities.
Thank you.
Does it involve something to lock a bike up to? Or just a space?
Space in the zoning regulations, but the development permit area is for like a bike rack to add more amenities.
Oh, so a space plus something to lock a bike up to?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Agreed. Yeah. I'll leave it that way.
Yep, agreed.
Just one other thing here. Back to the OCP, page 38. Consider swapping parkland in North End with light industrial land within defined hazard slope area west of Mackenzie. What parkland in North End would be on that, consider under that scenario? What would the parkland in North End be?
Yeah, Your Worship, to Jessica as well, please.
Thank you.
So the municipality owns property at the end of Collier Place, which is just,
Where's Collier Place?
so another reference would be the dairy fields, the top
Oh, okay,
end
the dairy- okay.
that is adjacent to the highway.
Oh, so it could be parkland in the future, or it could be switched with the heavy industrial, which is eroding.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. Anyway, I'm going to wind this up, but first of all, I've got to say this. I always appreciate the democratic process of being able to hear and speak like this. I don't take it for granted. And again, my concern is livability of this community. And based on those population projections, I don't know that the number of housings under the housing report needed actually is accurate. And yeah, that's my main concern, the livability of the community, the traffic, and yeah, that's where I'm at. Anyway, I moved here for a reason. One of it was, I'll quote from the OCP, small town livability, maintain small town feel, page 21. Visions and guiding principles. All right,
Thank you, sir. Point well taken.
thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Anybody else from the audience? We had quite a few submissions online. or-
Which is part of it.
Yes, the council have hopefully seen it. There was a lot of input online into the system, so hopefully everybody's aware. Anything we need to? Second call? Anybody? Third and final call for the public hearing? Anybody? Hearing none, I'll close the,
Sorry, we need to go to the zoning bylaw as well.
okay, we should go there.
Your worship, what I'd recommend now is a resolution to refer this item now to the regular meeting.
Okay, I need a motion to refer. Councillor Bain. Councillor Moses, moved and seconded, the public hearing be referred to the regular agenda. All in favor? Opposed, if any, carried unanimously. And now we need to close, I suppose.
Now, sorry,
The
Your
second
Worship,
one?
now it's for the
Second motion.
the zoning bylaw.
Okay,
So-
yes.
So I'll read the overview of the zoning bylaw. So bylaw number 2430 being the new City of Williams Lake zoning bylaw number 2430/2025, including new zoning designations that align with provincial housing regulation changes, i.e. consideration of types and increase of allowable permitted uses and densities, and updates to definitions, special regulations, and parking regulations.
I need it moved, we have to do the
Now that would
Hearing.
call again for.
call. Anybody wanted to speak for or against the zoning bylaw? First call, anybody? Second call, anybody for or against zoning bylaw? Third and final call, anybody for or against zoning bylaw? Having nobody, I'll close the zoning bylaw public hearing and the staff, please.
Your Worship, we just need a resolution to refer the zoning bylaw to the regular council meeting.
I need a mover and seconder. Councillor Flash Fuller moved it. Councillor Moses seconded. Any question, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. I'll need the adjournment.
Yep.
I can, or I,
There's a motion to.
motion to adjourn the public hearing. Councillor Flash Fuller, Councillor Moses, all in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Now we will go to the regular council meeting. Call the regular council meeting in order. Last and the final meeting of 2025. We will take the moment to wish everybody later on, but going to the business. Once again, Councillor Nelson, Councillor Delaney, Councillor Lyons are under the weather, and Councillor Nelson is to the Zoom system, and Councillor Delaney and Councillor Lyons are not through the Zoom, but they may join us anytime if the time and circumstance their health permit. It's my honor to acknowledge we are gathered in the William Lake First Nation Swepnik people to do our business. Thanks to the nation elder chief allowing us to do the business. Adoption, before we call the adoption of the agenda, I really wanted to recognize, like I have always done it, the elected member of public, Director Forsyth is with us. He rarely missed the meeting, and he does keep at least my office on my toes time to time, and I sincerely appreciate it. And with the media and the staff, I really appreciated each and every one of you seeing here. Adoption of the agenda is on the line, please. Councillor Flash Fuller, Councillor Moses, all in favor. Carried unanimously. Minute of the last council meeting held December 2nd and special meeting held on December 3rd is on the table. Moved and seconded, Councillor Flash Fuller, Councillor Beam. Any addition, deletion? Hearing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any, carried. Delegation, there's no delegation. The City of Williams Lake Official Community Plan Bylaw number 2429, Clerk's note.
The recommendation that council give third reading and adopt the City of Williams Lake Official Community Plan Bylaw number 2429.
Moved and seconded. Before I open the floor for debate, I wanted to personally recognize Ms. Beamkamp and Jessica, as well as Marie, and these three ladies did a hell of a job, along with the other staff. And our contractor, of course, the community, the people came out and give their input time to time. And if I start naming, there's a long list, so I'll leave it there. And we had $300,000 received from the provincial budget, $200,000 were received from the provincial government, and it's mandated by the province. Last time we did the OCP was, I believe, 2011, if I correctly remember. I'm honored to let the community know, as per staff has advised me, we are within the budget, within the time frame. And once again, thanks to the leadership Ms. Beenkamp has provided, we've been working on this issue over a year. I remember sometime in November, we called the proposal and have the contractor come in. And thank you very much. And I wish I had more word to say. I do lots of word, but I won't say it's coming from bottom of my heart. We are blessed to have under the leadership of Mr. Maraca, we had a hell of a staff, very dedicated, very good staff. Now I'll open the floor. Yes, Council Flashballer, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. During our last meeting and when we had discussions of the OCP, I said the same thing. I think staff have done an absolutely incredible job with the consultants and the community also being involved. So I won't elaborate anymore. I completely agree on those sentiments. I just wanted to bring the point of the member of the community, John, that came up and asked the questions in regards to the housing projections and the population projection, because I also equally noticed that in the OCP in some of our meetings, and I asked staff and they actually had a really great answer. So maybe if it's possible, I could forward that. I think Beth answered on it last time, and then maybe she can give you the answer that you might be looking for on that one, because it does look where it's showing that the population isn't going to substantially increase, but the housing requirements are. So I also had asked staff that one. So I wanted to make sure you got your answer. Thank you.
Anything, Mr. Maraca, to add? Anybody else? Oh, sorry, Ms. Beenkamp, please. Please.
It's a tricky one, but if it comes down to demographic patterns. So what we're going to see between now and 2035 is population go off a cliff. And that's because the baby boomers are leaving the system. Going somewhere else, don't know where. But with that demographic shift, we've been talking about that for years and years and years. And so currently we have a lot of our population housed in facilities and different institutions like that. And as the population grows, it's being replaced, and the Cariboo region in particular has one of the fastest rising Indigenous populations in all of Canada, in the Cariboo region. And so the projection is looking at the baby boomers leaving, but a whole bunch of young people coming into the system that are going to need different kinds of housing. And so those one-bedroom units that you might see at Glen Arbor or over at the Seniors Village, they're considered housing units. And so when we're talking about housing stock, we're talking about building homes for families. So for professionals that are like a one bedroom per professional, which we're very, very short of in Williams Lake, and for families, which, a 3-bedroom home, so you can have a couple of kids. And so it's sort of a balancing of that. The projection that we have is also for the central Cariboo. So it's not just, so when we're talking about housing projections, we can't exactly distill it down to the granular level of Williams Lake. And so we're talking about the central Cariboo, which is a bit of just pumps those numbers up again. And again, if you look at Indigenous populations rising, we've got the fastest growing one in all of Canada right here in the Cariboo. That's how you sort of distill those numbers.
Thank you. Councillor Bean, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just, I always think that's interesting, even now, like with the population, it should be fine. And we're in this housing crisis, like the numbers haven't gone up. But I will say one thing I think, and it has nothing to do with Beth. Beth's probably 100% smarter than me in that way and right. But what I do see happening is a lot of split homes. I see a lot of divorce and a lot of where two people are now where one home used to be. So where you used to see a lot more shared housing, I see a lot of people separate houses, and certainly a lot of people I know. So that has doubled the housing issue. I feel like there's way more people living in like this as opposed to this. So I feel like, because I've been wondering that myself. I look around and go, why the heck are we in a housing crisis period? There should, there really hasn't been that big a boom. It's been pretty steady. And I mean, if you look at school board stats and things. So I feel it's the split homes and a lot of people that can luckily afford 2 homes, but it has definitely put us in a crisis. So I think there's multiple reasons, is all I was going to say. Like, I actually have thought of that myself, just in general. Why are we in this housing crisis? But anyway, my own little aside on that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Incam. Yes, Councillor Moses, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. We also have Councillor Nelson after.
Yes.
Okay.
I see that.
Yeah, just so much congratulations and thank you to staff for putting together such a magnificent piece of work. I've mentioned this before, but I think this is the day where it bears repeating that I've actually forwarded the link of a draft of our OCP, so it wasn't even in its final beautiful form yet, to members of the BC Assembly of First Nations at a housing conference that I was speaking at, and the feedback I got for that was tremendous. It was amazing. The work that's done in there regarding housing, regarding First Nations relationships, and now we've even adapted it for climate action. That I think that we're going to be a leading example for a lot of municipalities of similar sizes to us across British Columbia or even the country. So kudos to our staff for putting this together, and I'm just mind blown. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nelson.
Thank you very much, Worship, and thanks to the staff and the community for participating in this. The OCP is an important document. It helps to lay out a bit of a blueprint in terms of where we're going. I actually agree with John Pickford on a number of initiatives that he talked about, one specifically where the province says, hey, go and do this, but they don't put funding behind it, which makes it even more difficult for our community. On the good news side, I think that this helps to kind of create a very bold template for a community that actually, in my opinion, is going to continue to grow even during the dark cloud that's taking place right now. This creates the template that we need to be able to remove a number of red tape barriers, in my opinion. So I think it's something that the community is looking for. We certainly saw it in a number of the public meetings and certainly a number of the online comments that came out. On the good news side, on the rental side, we've got 80 units right now that are in the hopper that I believe we're anticipating 12 to 15 months to be completed, which is at Boitano Mall. I was in there the other day. It looks absolutely spectacular. And of course, we've got, I think, 36 or 39 units that are going to be opened up here shortly at Glen Arbor. Those units at Glen Arbor are designated, obviously, for seniors. I support that. We are number 17 out of close to 500 communities across Canada that have chosen Williams Lake as a key community. So we're in the top 20 across Canada to move to as a community for a senior. So that creates a huge opportunity. This official community plan certainly dovetails into that structure and that analysis in terms of creating a short-term but a long-term plan. There's no doubt that I think that we may have to do some minor adjustments down the road, but this is significantly better than what we've had previously. So just kudos to the staff and much thanks to the community for coming out and participating. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Nelson. Of course, you hit the nail on the head and had some of those words you used on my notes, but I won't repeat it. Thanks to Mr. Pickford comment. Like you, sir, always come time to time and keep the council on their toes. And obviously, also thanks to, once again, staff. Not only to staff, but our regional partner, area DEF directors, our other elected official, regardless they was on the school board or different level, and they all have input. The First Nation, I mean, list goes on and on. There was hardly anybody did not get involved. And I will also, thanks to the council, wherever they went, they advocate, they requested the people to get involved. And I think we have enough said, and thanks to the media, providing enough information to the community so they can come and get involved. Thanks to each and every one of you, rather than naming anybody particular. I think we are ready to call the question, sir. Okay, all in favor of the question? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. City of William Lake zoning bylaw 2430, sir.
Recommendation that council give third reading to the City of Williams Lake zoning bylaw number 2430 and forward the bylaw to the Ministry of Transportation and Transit for approval.
Council Flashfolder, Council Moser, any discussion, question? Hearing none, all in favor?
I just have.
Sorry, sorry, Council Nelson. Go ahead.
This is the meat and the bones inside the whole process. Huge shout out to the staff. This has a lot of positive changes. And I'm just going to highlight something that I think is extraordinarily important. We just heard staff say this needs to be referred to the ministry. I've talked about this before, and I'm on record of this. The ministry at this point in time is holding up a development on South Lake side. And when we're looking to build homes, there's 150 homes in that project. It's been in the process now for 3 years, and it is still held up because the ministry is holding it up. So when we're sending this document over to them, I'm hoping and anticipating that they're going to buy into what we're trying to do as a community, and that's to move forward very quickly, to build very quickly, and to get homes in the ground very quickly. So we need their support. We need them to release a number of projects that they've got under their guise right now so that we can build homes for the future. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you. Any more comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Computer check, please.
The recommendation that the accounts payable, computer check, and EFT listings dated November 27th, December 4th, and 11th, 2025 be received for information.
Moved and seconded, Councilor Flashballer and Councilor Beam. Any question? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimous. Bike lock station request.
The recommendation that the report of the planner dated December 9th, 2025 regarding an update on the cost and location options for the proposed bike lock stations as suggested by the Cariboo Climate Circle be received for council's further discussion and direction to staff.
Moved and seconded, Councilor Flashballer, Councilor Moses, Councilor Flashballer.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just thanks for this report. It gives some really great information. I'd just like to let the table know that I think that option 2 is actually a really good compromise and a really good position for us right now as a municipality to acknowledge the reach out and the communication that we've gotten from the community in regards to trying to support active transportation, but also be cognizant of we're in, taxing financial times, but to also be there. We have to also remember the finances and the dollars of this city belong to the community. They don't belong to us as councillors. And if we have like 700 people responding to active transportation reach outs, then we need to make sure that we're also paying attention to that for our budget and projections for the municipality. So option 2 has in it, and I'll just read it. It says council may direct staff to purchase and install priority bike racks at the 19 locations identified by the Cariboo Climate Circle at a cost of $11,982.20, and to restart the bike rack sponsorship program. It says option 2 provides the strongest balance between rapid implementation and meaningful community collaboration. Installing the 19 priority bike racks enables the city to move quickly on locations already identified as high need, resulting in visible improvements with a shorter time frame than completing a full system-wide installation. So I just think that that's a really good option for us. So that's the one that I support. Thank you.
If you're moving, I need a seconder so we can discuss option 2 further. Yeah. Okay, Council Flashballer moved that option 2 be looked after or taken care. As a recommendation, Councilor Moses, seconded, Councilor Moses.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I agree that this seems to be the best compromise in potential savings while getting a good amount of work done immediately and getting our community involved. It seems like just a win-win-win. I just want to send a thank you out again to the Cariboo Climate Circle and the other groups that have given input on what is needed and where they should be. Let's get this ball rolling. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. I'm looking forward. Can't wait. Anything, Councilor Beam, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. Yeah, no, I also agree it's a start, but I really would like to see this every year. And that's why I'll say it's a start, because I think every year I'd like to see this, that much is or more is spent every year on bike racks, accessibility. I mean, we talk about making this, we must be a really high use of bikes, I would assume, from kids to everybody. And the more bike racks, the more more livability, more like, I just think it's the way to go. So although it's not everything, I think it is a good start. And I definitely just want to see it on future agendas for later. Thanks. Oh, and of course, also want help make sure we're installing them correctly, because if we're
Gotcha. Thank you,
for the
Jim.
best use of what we do put up.
I really appreciated the previous speaker, my colleagues, and definitely I didn't want to put my words into their mouth, but option 2 is the best bet. Councilor Moses, second time, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Could I make an amendment to the motion, please? I'd like to make an amendment that we revisit this in 6 months' time to see if there's a need for more bike racks.
Is it okay to the mover?
Is that good?
Okay, so we come back after 6 months, we revisit, see how the program's going. Thank you. Any discussion from your end, Councilor Nelson?
Sounds great. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. All in favor? Oppose if any? Carried unanimously. And next item I had is license of occupation renewal, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the planner dated December 3rd, 2025, council authorized entering into the first renewal option term for the existing license of occupation agreement with Platform Properties Limited for an off-site sign on the boulevard of Pioneer Drive for the Prosperity Ridge Commercial Park for a further 5-year term effective January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2030, with all costs of the execution and registration of the renewal agreements to be in the responsibility of the Platform Properties Limited, and further that council delegate authority to the Director of Planning and Development to consider and give approval to the 7 remaining options for extensions on the same terms and conditions.
Councilor Flashballer, Councilor Moses, moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Oppose if any? Carried unanimously. Hospital area neighborhood parking.
Recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Senior Bylaw Officer dated December 8th, 2025, council review the parking management options outlined in the report and provide direction to staff on the preferred approach to regulating on-street parking in the hospital construction area, and further that staff be directed to develop the necessary signage plans, enforcement strategies, and communication materials required to implement the selected option.
Moved and seconded. Before I usually I try not to speak and put my word into the council's mouth to let everybody make the decision. I had a lot of work done, and I went to the area, tried to speak to about 11 or 12 people. Others was at work, and a couple people just sent me the message. And the majority of people like option 1, but I'll leave it up to the council. And I'm sure staff would be very happy, because when we go to the other option, it seems like they're not viable unless council wanted to go back on the drawing board for the budget, hire more staff, do this, do that. There's a lot of implications, and I would not personally support. So I would definitely request the council to consider option 1. But whatever you people think, we will go like I've always done, the majority. Councilor Flashballer, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I do have some questions to staff, and it indicates here that there is 6 streets under review, and then in option 2, it says convert all streets around the hospital to 2-hour restricted parking zones. So I'm just wondering, because when you look at the mapping at the end of the report, it doesn't show that it's all streets that were discussed. It only shows basically 6th and Johnson, I believe. So I just wanted to get clarification on where the proposed 2-hour parking would be. That's one that I would want to ask. On a personal level, I understand the sentiments of Mayor Rather, but I also, have to also consider that the hospital is being designed to be a highly functioning entity within this municipality. If we go to a hospital, anywhere else, there's going to be regulated parking to a certain extent. I don't think all streets need to be done myself, but I could understand the consideration of 2-hour parking, similar to what we have downtown on the streets that are adjacent to the entrance myself. I'm not saying that it has to happen today, but I can understand that kind of monitoring might be required if it was just at the entrance area, as long as it's not affecting the homeowners for evenings also. Like, I want to make sure that whatever would be done in signage is making it so that people that live in that area need to park in the evenings are going to be okay. Anyways, I'm happy for the discussion and the answer of the question. Thank you.
I got Councillor Beam, but before Councillor Beam, I got Mr. Maraca.
Your worship, to Councillor Flashbowler, the map refers to option number 3. So option number 2 says convert all streets around the hospital to 2-hour parking restriction zones, but option 3 says mixed parking restrictions, 2-hour parking zones on Johnson Street and the one. So the map only refers to the 2 hours, and that's what it refers to. Is that correct, Derek?
So it's just those green ones on
They know there's two.
Sorry, it's
Your
just Johnson
worship.
and 6th.
Yeah,
that
your
would have to
worship,
wear?
Councillor Flashbowler, 2 different options. The map that you're looking at is for option number 3. So option number 2 that you were looking at is all streets.
Okay.
So if you're talking about the map, you want to refer to the app and look at it, it would only be those.
Okay, thank you for that answer. So then I guess my sentiments on that is I could understand, and it wasn't really given in an option to us then, of just like 2-hour parking on Johnson and 6th, just on those streets, and then leaving everything else status quo. I could understand that because those are the most impacted and closest. Like, we all go to the hospital sometimes. When you pull in, there's no parking. You pull out to those streets are the ones right there, and you're going to be parking on them. So I could see understanding of that, and then it wouldn't be as impacting to staff also. And I personally can't see the closure of the other streets. We already have these issues. I don't see, I understand it would try and alleviate some issues, but I feel for the community at whole, we still need those parking areas. So
Mr. Maraca, please.
thank you.
Your worship, to all of council, since last year, we've had 65 logged concerns, and 55 of those have come from the surrounding streets, not from Johnson
Okay.
and really they're isolated to one particular area. And it's outside of Johnson and 6.
Given Johnson, 6th, 4th, they're all bad. Doesn't matter which one. I got Councillor Beam, then Councillor Nelson, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I don't think we should change. I think it should be the status quo, and the reasons why, for a few reasons. I mean, I think it's at least for our staff, just to monitor, and for even the people that live on it. I know it sucks for the calls they do get, but even today I had a patient that said that they live somewhere there, I don't know which street, but they said that someone came and asked if they could just park there while they got their blood work done, and they let them because they weren't going anywhere. I mean, I know it's everybody in that area. So I know this is a problem, but I think for our staff, the least is the most. I for now, this is short term. And the other second reason why, or the main reason why, we could be waiting and emerge for 4 hours. So you're going to make that person go move their car? They're like, that's, to me, it's ludicrous. Like, why? Like, if I'm waiting there with my kid, so now I got to worry my car's getting towed? Are you kidding me? Like, there's one thing if you're blocking someone's driveway, but you're not, you're parked on the road. I mean, I don't even do it downtown, and I almost think we should be paying for parking. Like, if there's anywhere, like, I think people shouldn't be parked outside a store all day. I'm not going to be willing to do it around the air or around the hospital. So I'm definitely going to be voting against that. I think it should just stay at status quo. I think it sucks. I think it's hopefully almost done. I don't know how much longer do we have. Like, I guess that to staff, but I feel like for staff, I'm going with the least, which is number 1, status quo. It sucks. Let's ask people not to park in driveways and ask the people to bear with us that live around there for a little longer. But I'm not into stopping roads, not when someone might be with their kid and emerge for 4 hours. I just can't do it. Not if I thought emerge was efficient, it's part of our problem. So, no, thanks.
I'm going to let everybody speak. I'll have my say. In the end, I got Councillor Nelson, then Councillor Moses, please.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Yeah, no, this is a problem and it's a serious problem. This project's been ongoing for a couple of years now. We don't anticipate this project to be completed until 2029. I don't expect people to live in hell up there, and it is hell. There was 300 tickets issued in 2025. That's 75% of those were in and around the parking around the hospital. These are not patients that are going there. These are the workers that are working on the hospital. That responsibility needs to fall to the province and to Graham Construction to ensure that what we do is we provide adequate parking. So when they get the first phase open, there's going to need to be a runway for the ambulance to get in through its new location. So I'm a pretty hard on this one, where I understand the sense of frustration that the residents have got up there. I was up there today for an hour, having a bit of a look and doing some work up there, and it's back to back. There's cars everywhere. I appreciate the Graham Construction and the hospital and Interior Health have rented some parking lots inside some of the churches and stuff. They may have to walk a little bit further, but the parking congestion cannot carry on for another 3 or 4 years. So I think we need to button it up. Dale Taylor was at our last council meeting, and he along with many different neighbors expressed a sense of absolute frustration. I understand that frustration. So I see it every time I'm up there. So I'm much more along the lines, if we have to, put no parking in around that area. If we have to put in a bylaw or a policy that you're going to be towed, or 2-hour parking, we tow. And I think our CAO did mention that we would be a little bit more aggressive on that towing. And I guess just a quick question: how many vehicles have we towed in the last 2 weeks?
Mr. Muraca.
Your worship to Councillor Nelson, I know that bylaws go out there regularly, and I've been out there regularly. And when we say towing, we're talking about towing for like option 1, when you're physically blocking a hydrant, physically blocking a driveway, physically doing that. And we have not seen it to date. So no vehicles have been towed, and there has been no violations. Just because somebody parks in front of your house, it's not a violation unless council makes it a violation by making it 2-hour parking. No resident is guaranteed on-street parking in any part of the community. If somebody's parking in front of your driveway, yeah, that's a towable offense.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've semi got the message across, not to be blocking people's driveway, Your Worship, but at the same time, I think we need to look at the congestion and maybe perhaps have a chat with Interior Health and say maybe we should be encouraging to rent another location in and around that area where they can provide some transportation. We got another 3 years of construction on the second phase of this hospital. This isn't going to end tomorrow. And I certainly, if I lived in the neighborhood, I would expect the same respect in terms of being able to not have that mass congestion in and around that hospital. I recognize it's a $500 million investment. I think it's fantastic. But people should not be forced to live like this for the next 3 to 4 years. So I prefer to take a bit stronger stance on this and give staff great flexibility to ensure that we can address the parking problems that we've got in that area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moses.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I agree with Your Worship that option 1 seems the most realistic with the enhanced enforcement. I also agree with Councillor Boehm that the hour restriction could potentially have really big downsides for potential emerge patients. I do have a question for our CEO.
Please.
Have we considered parking permits like they have in Vancouver in their residential zones that are right next to main streets, so that only people who live in the neighborhood can park there? Doing that in a couple small areas might be of assistance. I'm not sure. Thank
Mr.
you.
Muraca.
Your worship, I'm going to pass this over to Derek in a second, but I think that the issue that remains is anytime we do anything that revolves around the bylaws doing some extra work, we're taking out our 2 bylaw officers that spend most of their days dealing with the unhoused population and other concerns and stuff like that, and you're putting them directly relating to parking, which we do not have parking bylaw officers. So I'll let Derek comment on that, on those passes, and we did consider them, but Derek can speak to them.
Yeah, we did try those in the past. So the area in Western around TRU and around Kolomica, Latin Avenue and that area in there, they did use those resident parking passes only. It was very difficult to know who was getting those. We didn't have a tracking system very well, and it was highly abused. So people were collecting a whole bunch of those placards and then utilizing them for permanent parking on the roadway when they may not have been permanent residents of that area. It could be an option for sure. We would just have to find a better way at maintaining a log of who's collecting those and actually tracking that in a better system moving forward.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Maraca.
Your Worship, and I just want to point out that we used to carry extra bylaw staff, and the bylaw staff that was here in 2014, that extra third person was used for bylaw enforcement, including parking restrictions. And in 2014, when we didn't have that bylaw, it was a decision of the council to do a process of complaint-based enforcement. And if we want to do proactive things, which includes parking, you need to have more staff to be able to do proactive enforcement.
Councilor Flashfuller, before I get you second time, I'm going to make a couple comment here. To me, the message has to be strong and clear. Anybody block anybody's driveway to my office, it is not acceptable. If I have to, I'll go personally. I'll take Mr. CO with me, along with the bylaw officer. Whatever we have to do, we will do it. That I could not say more stronger word. Like my colleague, Councillor Bain said, somebody sitting in the emergency, how do we know if somebody's blocking someone's driveway, they don't have emergency? Are we going to put more than one person in the emergency? No way. Not acceptable to me. Reference to, I have done this quite often. I don't want to give my secret away all in one council meeting. I go quite often to hospital, see, there's enough parking for the patient. It's the workers. We had the Graham Construction have rented the Sacred Heart Church parking. You try go there and look at how many parkings are empty. People don't want to walk 10 feet. This is the mentality in Williams Lake. I wanted to thanks to all the workers. They have come to William Lake to help us building our hospital, but I will not compromise with any safety belong to any of my residents. Now, reference to any other option than one, I totally agree with Councilor Flashpoller. Any other option to our parking? Not today. Not today. Council have to have another person. What is the sense to have the Wolf game, no Wolf game? Why would I create a bylaw and put 2-hour parking when we cannot send a staff member to enforce it? I don't want that. So to me, staff have done an excellent job. I don't know, Councilor Nelson, when reading my notes, I had 300 tickets being issued in the very short period, or maybe we both were talking to the same staff member. But staff is very aggressive. They're working. The safety of the residents is number one for my office. I can't compromise anything for that. Yes, we can go to our parking at a later stage. We had few years yet. I cannot have the residents in the prison in their own house. No, I would not support that. Councilor Flashpoller, second and last time, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple more questions.
Please.
In regards to the 2-hour parking, I believe it's quite a bit of downtown. So there's staff that's monitoring how many streets downtown? Is there only just a few? And then I do have one more question.
Mr. Maraca.
Your Worship, there is lots of 2-hour parking downtown, but we only enforce when there's a considerable amount of complaints and we have the time to do this.
So there's no one monitoring him anymore?
Nope, there's 2 bylaw officers and they spend all their time, most of their time dealing with the unhoused population. So when you really look at it, the amount of work that goes into 2-hour parking, for Derek to go down there, chalk a tire, then go back 2 hours later to see if that chalk has moved this far, it takes up his whole day. And like, we just don't have that staff. You were around when we used to have that stuff. We just don't have that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, for many, many years, there was that
Yes.
staff here.
That's right.
Yeah, many years. Okay, thank you. And then, just because we're still in discussion, I wanted to ask staff the idea on the extension of the no parking zones, because when I look at the mapping, that would give multiple sections of streets that have residential with like no street parking now, because the other half of the street is already closed. So it would be closing both sides. And I'm just kind of concerned for residents that might need street parking. And I'm wondering why these are being proposed. Thank you.
Your worship, will pass this off to Derek, please.
Please, Mr. Walter.
Thank you. So those areas were designated as the no parking zones because those are the areas that the bylaw department is receiving the most frequent amount of complaints. The other areas that are all in red on that mapping are the areas that have been changed to no parking. That's in the past due to safety, for maintenance wise, for access points. So these ones would change. The plan moving forward in consultation with the manager of public works would be to have that during the daytime hours when the congestion is the worst. So it would match what we have downtown, where it would be no parking from 7 till 6, and then overnight residents could still utilize the parking until the morning again in those zones.
Okay. Can I ask what the complaints are? Is it just access or is this blocked driveways? What are the complaints you're referring?
Most of them in the Fourth Avenue area are for blocking driveways. In Johnson, it's for also blocking driveways and blocking crosswalks, stop signs, that sort of thing. So those are the main ones that we're getting. We're getting some boulevard ones as well, because people are trying to park off of the roadway and then parking on the boulevard and creating sightline concerns from alleyway access, because there is driveways that do only have access off the alleyway. So those are our main concerns, would be
Okay,
the
like on
driveways.
Gibbon and stuff?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Maraca.
Your worship, I'll just add a little bit more for Councillor Flash-Poller's question. When we say blocking driveways, that could be a foot on the driveway. So a lot of times when bylaw staff goes out there, they're not going to force a foot into a driveway. You can't tow somebody for being over a foot. So that would be the majority of the calls. So a lot of times we attend and we don't enforce. Is that correct, Derek?
There's a lot of concern, there's no question. So, making a long story short, Derek, since last week, have you seen any improvement, if I may ask you the question, since this matter was discussed committee of the whole?
Yes, thank you. There has been. We haven't had any complaints this week in regards to any sort of driveway concerns. Staff in the last few weeks have written letters that went to both Interior Health and to Graham Construction in regards to these increased levels of possible tows for these egregious violations. I have noticed some improvements. Of course, there's always one-off here and there that we do still enforce. We are proactively trying to monitor that area just to alleviate these concerns. So it does get better. It gets better, and then some days it gets worse. So it's an ongoing day-to-day matter in that whole area.
Thank you for your help and the dedication staff has shown. Just for committee and council information, I have spoken to Ms. Shendrick, Vice President of the operation, last week, right after she assured me she'll be definitely talking to the Graham Construction and the stakeholder, how far they have gone. My apology, I didn't get a chance to check with her today. I'm sure I have noticed some improvement. I tried to go drive around, and thanks to Mr. Maraca once again. It was a couple years back when people complained, people was parking both sides of the street, and Mr. Maraca did not waste any time. I think it was less than an hour or so, one side parking was taken away. That has improved lots in the area, one side parking, fire truck or anything in case of emergency almost can go on any street. I have noticed maybe because of their office, 4th Avenue is the worst one. And how are we going to improve it? I would appreciate it through the medium of the newspaper and the radio programming, if they could send a message. Any blocking is not acceptable, period. Any blocking drive is not acceptable. Yes, I understand sometimes people would park just on the edge. I know Mr. Maraca said what he said. I won't go there, but when somebody blocked my driveway, I'm not happy. Doesn't matter 6 inches, 8 inches, or 1 feet. I don't mind, they can park anywhere, but I don't know what council think. I will request council to go with, considering all the circumstances, like I said earlier, we'll go with the option 1 and the rest up to the council. Anybody, any recommendation?
Well, your worship, I think we're trying to find the solution as a council here. We've had, I think, a couple of delegations come forward on a lot of letters on this particular issue. So, you know, I want to be as flexible as possible to give staff the tools, but at the same time, I need to be extraordinarily respectful to the residents that are putting up with the construction and access to their homes and the amount of traffic within that area. So I'm looking for much harder enforcements that pushes it to the limit and makes it very difficult to park in those areas and opens it up for the area residents. So that's my position on it. And, you know, if we want to wordsmith it to be along those lines, I'm great. If not, then somebody can put a recommendation on the table and we can debate that.
I think that would be the option 1. We'll give it to you. I see Mr. Councilor Moses' hand up. Anything, please, from you, sir?
Yes, Your Worship. Yeah, I would be in favor of option 1.
So are you moving, that means?
Yeah, I'll move option 1.
Okay, I need seconder to discuss further. Councilor Moses, Councilor Bain, any discussion on option 1? Yes, please, Councilor Bain.
Thank you, Worship. And I'm agreeing with my colleague, Councillor Nelson. I mean, I want there to be more too, but we haven't got the funds to get another bylaw. I just don't see how we can do it. And I am not okay with just blocking. Like, if we could afford to have tires touched and chalked and all that, but I just don't see how we have staff for that. And I don't want to hire staff right now, Councillor Nelson. And so that means that the status quo, having to call in bylaw, although it sucks, I mean, we can encourage them to call them, but I would also ask that, I know it must be frustrating for bylaw, but I've also heard from people that have called and they feel the frustration from bylaw in response when they do talk to them. And so it's a two-way street, and I get it, but I don't see us having the finances to go further. So I am going for option 1, but will be encouraging anyone I hear to call in and to bylaw, and hopefully bylaw understands I think everybody's frustrated. It's not an easy thing. So.
I'm coming to you, Councilor Flashfuller. Mr. Maraca has assured me he would push whatever we wanted to the level to the enforcement, considering other circumstances. Mr. Maraca, then Councilor Flashfuller.
Thanks, Your Worship. I think that part of this is we got to realize what the issue is here. There's one that's so ridiculous where you think that you can park in front of somebody's driveway and not get towed. Yeah. There's that issue. Yeah. Then there's the other issue about congestion. And I just want to point out the facts that the reason why there's congestion is because you've got the interior health people and you've got Graham construction people that get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they go to work and they take all the prime real estate first thing in the morning and park wherever they want. So they take up in front of all the houses, and then comes the person for blood work and they can't find a place to park after that. That's the reality of the situation. So the only way you take care of congestion is you make parking restrictions. And parking restrictions, further to what Councillor Bain says, require staff time and staff effort. Staff's not against any of this sort of stuff. We can do anything you want. You just have to put enough time, money, and resources to it. And in other communities, you would have enforcement around a hospital. You would have 2-hour parking around a hospital, but that affects the residents too. So that means when Councillor Bain lives there and her mom comes to visit, her mom gets 2 hours and then she's going to get chalked too. So it's just the nature of the beast around living around a hospital.
Councilor Flashfuller.
Thank you, Your Worship. I will support option 1 being put on the table right now, but my thoughts behind that is the fact that there's been great proactive work by staff communicating to Interior Health and to Graham Construction. So I commend them for that. And maybe that is one of the things that might make a slight change right now for these issues. And I also understand Councillor Nelson's sentiments of the concerns that, you know, residents have brought up in that area. If I lived there, I'd be concerned too, because we know that this will be a busy area today and tomorrow. It is an expansion. So maybe at this stage, this is where we go with option one, and then we continue to just keep that proactive work with both those entities, because that might be, as in par with Mr. Maraca has stated, as being appearing to be the biggest issue. And if that can be addressed by those two entities, we might not be in this situation. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure if we go option one, like it's on the table, Mr. Maraca is there and his staff is there. They will enforce. I'm sure he heard loud and clear the wish of not only to the committee, but also to the council member. I think we have enough. All in favor of option one. Opposed, if any, carried unanimously. Thank you, sir. In moving along, BCAAP grant application.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Manager of Economic Development dated December 10th, 2025, Council approve an application to the British Columbia Air Access Program for a total project value of $136,000 for upgrades to the fuel system components at the Williams Lake Regional Airport for the purpose of providing fuel to aircraft, and further that Council approve the municipal funding contribution for this project in the amount of $34,000, 25% of project costs from airport reserves.
Moved and seconded. Any question, concern? Anything from you, sir? Nothing? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay, look at my page. Okay, next one, NDIT grant.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Manager of Economic Development dated December 8th, 2025, Council approve a 2026 Northern Development Initiative Trust NDIT application to the Economic Development Capacity Building Program for up to $50,000 to offset the wages of the Economic Development Manager.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? I don't know what we would do without the economic development manager in the community. All the work she does and all the weight she carried. Really, Ms. Binkham, I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, from my office. Thank you. All in favor? Carried unanimously. NDIT grant application, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Manager of Economic Development dated December 9th, 2025, Council approve an application to the Northern Development Initiative Trust Rural and Remote Employment Initiatives Fund Labor Market Research Plan Stream for a total project value of $50,000 to complete a regional labor market study in 2026-2027, and further that Council approve the municipal funding contribution for this project in the amount of $3,000, 10% of project costs minus a $2,000 contribution from the CRD, from the Economic Development budget being $1,500 in 2026 and $1,500 in 2027.
Moved and seconded. Council Flashfuller, Council Moses. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Another one is again grant, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Manager of Economic Development dated December 8th, 2025, Council approve a 2026 application to the Northern Development Initiatives Trust for a grant of up to $55,000 to host an intern under the Local Government Internship Program, and further that Council commit to providing a financial contribution of $10,000 and staffing resources to host an intern and to providing training and professional development opportunities for the intern if the application is successful.
Moved in second, Council Flashfuller, Council Moses. We have seen a numerous interim here, and they became a permanent worker for the city. It's a very good program. I support it wholeheartedly. Council Flashfuller, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to state this is why having the position of an economic developer is so important. Look at all of these great applications for getting, supportive funding for our municipality. And I just want to commend staff for doing all of this and putting this in front of us, because it's such a great cost savings with great initiatives behind all of it. Thank you.
All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Budget information consultation session.
The recommendation that the report of the Chief Financial Officer dated December 10th, 2025 regarding a summary of the 2025 public budget information and consultation session held December 9th, 2025 in the City Hall lobby be received, and that Council review the budget feedback received from residents, and further that Council provide feedback and direction regarding future budget information and consultation processes.
Moved and seconded, Councilor Flashfuller and Council Moses. Council Flashfuller.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a question for staff. I noticed in some of the feedback, there was a request of extension of the Active Transportation Working Group. And I know as we've been progressing through budgeting, there hasn't been anything presented to us in regards or relation to that. So I just wanted to get feedback from Mr. Maraca, if possible, on that topic, so that community members that are inquiring and wanting to know about whether this connection to community in regards to active transportation is going to continue and how it's going to continue for our municipality. Thank you.
Mr. Maraca, please.
Your Worship, Council Flashflow, I need more information. Like, what are you saying? Like, the active transportation is a role that council has approved, a 1/3 position for active transportation. Are you talking about that position? Are you talking, yeah, that continues.
Thank you. So basically, I just want to be able to let the inquiries that are coming from community members going, hey, we would really like to see funds go towards an active transportation working group continue with the Fraser Basin Council, but we have already designated funds, correct, towards one of our planners to be absorbing some of that work.
That's right.
Okay, so I wanted community to understand that, but then I also want to know how is that position, our staff position, going to make sure that we maintain that connection to community and the interested parties and individuals. That was the nice thing of a working group, because I sat in a lot of those sessions. Like, how do we maintain that connection?
Mr. Maraca.
Thanks, Your Worship. So with the OCP and all the work that the planners and Beth put into the OCP, there was the need for the Fraser Basin Council to be involved a little bit more hands-on, and they filled a role for us, and they did a great job. But with that, that was unfunded, unbudgeted, and was not the direction of council to carry a 3rd position as a planner, plus give money to Fraser Basin Council. So right now, there is no money for Fraser Basin Council unless there is some other things that are being directed where the planners go off and do some other tasks. So council has never funded a 3rd position plus Fraser Basin Council. I made that decision based on the OCP work and out of that money.
Right on. But if there was, let's say, a community committee that was started, like if they did it on their own, they'd be able to make those connections with that staff member for the municipality?
Yeah, Your Worship. The thing is about like active transportation and other working groups is for them to take a more hands-on role and coordinate themselves as well, and then use our city correspondent. The fact that we provided Fraser Basin Council to coordinate and do that, council has never given us the direction to make it the accessibility committee where we take a more active role. This is a working group, that's a committee, it's a community group, and the idea is to get them started, and then they're supposed to take on a role and bring stuff to the city, not for us to facilitate by hiring a consultant to work with them. Council never gave that direction.
Right. No, and I understand that 100%. I just want to make sure that that information gets relayed to the community. So if the community wants to continue having a working group of one way, shape, or form, then we have a staff member here that's there to support them.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Anybody else? I just wanted to say 2 things. I attended the session for 3 hours. I was right there from beginning to end. Councillor Flash Polar came, she spent about an hour plus and minus. Councillor Bain came, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour before the meeting. I don't know, should I take it, municipality, the community is happy, but the decisions made by the council, or they're happy because council is trying to work within a 0%. I don't know what to take it. Only 8 people came. There was some written submission. I had a great opportunity to speak to those people who was here. I, from bottom of my heart, wanted to thank them. At least they came, they done their duty. Now it's up to the council. Every person came, and to attend, their submissions are in written in it. And I don't know if it's too late or not. If anybody's watching, listening us tonight meeting, please send us your input. We got a few days. I don't know officially how many days we got for the input, but hopefully before the next session on the budget, I will push to the staff to consider even late submission. I wanted to hear from you before you start blaming mayor and council or anybody or staff. We needed to hear from you. That's all. But other than that, recommendation is to receive the report. Had been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Capital budget early approval.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Chief Financial Officer dated December 8th, 2025, Council give early budget approval to initiate the new projects recommended by staff prior to the approval of the 2026-2030 Financial Plan Bylaw, and to commit that these new projects, along with taxation, reserve usage, or other funding measures required to fund the projects, would be approved in the 2026-2030 Financial Plan Bylaw.
Moved and I need seconder, please.
Second.
Okay, Councillor Nelson, Councillor Flashfuller moved it, Councillor Nelson seconded. A lot of stuff in this early approval is because for the community's purpose, staff need to plan. If there's something need to order, they need to order. There's lots of people such as, say, road, blacktop, people would be planning their year. So the contractor have to submit their submission, and so they could be considered in their court and whatnot. So this is urgent. And Council Flashfuller, please.
Your worship.
Yes, I got you. Next, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, just a question to staff. You know, I went through the list. I think it's great that you guys have put this all together for us. Just wondering in regards to the one project, which is the Comer-Mackenzie feasibility for the crosswalk on that section. Is that one not one that needs to be concerned about for being done early in any way, shape, or form?
Please.
Your worship, to Councillor Flashfuller, we didn't identify that as one because there is no safety concern right now, right? Because there's no crossing and stuff like that. That is a facility or that's an increased service. And that's going to be something wonderful and everybody's going to love it. But right now, the other things that we have
Doesn't need to be
identified,
early.
that doesn't need to be early. So that there are things, then we got to be aware that if we have priorities as staff, we only have a certain amount of staff. So if they're working on the paving program, they can't be working on this one too. And the paving program is the higher value one that's going out early. So we just, by the time we do paving and stuff like that and other projects, we'll be in time when you guys are reading the bylaw anyway. So we didn't want to.
Okay.
We could absolutely add it if you would like it to be on there as an early approval. But I just, adding it as an early approval and us not getting to it till April or May is the reality of it.
I just don't want to see that it's one of those ones that gets discussion for any type of cuts that may be coming up down the road. And I honestly will say a lot of times I perceive this as early budget is the stuff that staff's going, we absolutely want to have this happen. And then you know it's now off the table for any type of discussions for financial budgeting. So that's all. That's my sentiments.
I hope you
and my
got your questions.
request.
Council Nelson.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Worship. I'll be supporting the recommendation. There's about 18 capital projects on here that we're looking for early approval. Literally 50% of this is the paving program for about $1.8 million. There's $175,000 that is allocated for the replacement of the Kiwanis / potential Rotary Park for where all the kids play. We need to get that in the hopper and get it ordered. A number of new key vehicles that we've identified that need replacement, and of course, a number of key water projects, including the Scout Island water main replacement on the 18-inch water main. So these are key projects that we've tracked that we want to get on. If we get them out the door early, it gives us a greater opportunity of being able to save some potential savings as they've done in the past. I think Jeff has done a wonderful job with our paving budget, and like I say, that's almost 50% of this allocation, $3.9 million. So I'll be supporting the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Nelson. Any more speaker? Hearing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any, carry unanimously. Next one is downloading cost.
Recommendation that the report of the Manager of Administrative Services dated December 10th, 2025, outlining a summary for the fourth quarter to date 2025 estimated costs downloaded by senior levels of government be received for information, and further that this report be included in Council's eventual UBCM materials.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, Councilor Flashfuller, Council Nelson. Wasn't the majority of this report to be forwarded to the premier, or is the court of fourth is added later?
Your worship, the council decided that they were gonna, what was it? It was like, we weren't gonna send them a letter, we were gonna make them aware of it at UBCM.
We'd sent
But
them
like, we were gonna send them a letter of the cost, but we weren't gonna send them any kind of bills or anything. That was the decision of the
Yes,
day.
yeah.
So right now, yes, there will be at the end of the year, we will be sending them another letter capping where we are for 2025.
Thank you. So this is for community's information. We had a great discussion during UBCM in Victoria. We made the premier and respective minister aware where we think that downloading is happening. Like I always said, I am totally against it. Federal government downloading to provincial government downloading to municipality. Who we going to download? It's the same one taxpayer. So it doesn't matter you pay to provincial, federal, or municipality. So it's a tough situation for us. I personally don't support it. And yes, we will definitely make aware to the premier as well as to the senior level of government when the time comes. Councillor Bain, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to say thanks for staff for this. I do think it's nice for us to see. I mean, it's not nice, obviously, but I think it's good. And I just wanted to say, like, as far as keeping track, I have brought this up at meetings when I'm at UBCM, when I'm at other things, and I think even at the addictions, mental health and addictions, I think I even asked the CAO if I was able to share it, if it was okay. So I just, because we're all trying to figure out what's the best, and I said, well, we tried to be as non-confrontational as possible, but to try it, we've asked staff to, unfortunately, more work, but trying to keep track of it. And this is one way we're trying to show the downloading. And certainly I did call you and say, is it okay if I share this? Because, so I, for one, have used it or shared it and said how we're trying to do that. So just thanks to staff. And I do think if we're all doing that, perhaps. Yeah.
Now you know why I supported you being on UBCM, because I had direct link and you keep pushing them, and my job get a lot easier. And all council member where they were involved, my office push, support every council member being involved at provincial level, at region level, wherever they could be, I support them. Anything to add from you, sir?
Yeah, Your Worship, I think just since it is being streamed and stuff like that, I think that it'd be good information for the community of what the numbers
Yes.
ended up being. So did you want to share that, or do you want me to share that?
Yeah, please do that.
So basically, after Q4, the estimate of what the city of Williams Lake has taken over based on any changes of regulations or any kind of downloading, we're estimating that number at close to $700,000 to increase costs to the local government from changes from senior levels of government to us. So it's a huge number. And it is and it's beyond our control. And if anybody's interested on some of the items, I would be encouraging you to look on the website, and you'll see this report, and you'll be able to determine what it is attributed to.
In other words, I always, every time I talk to member of parliament or our MLA, I speak to them and tell them. And this is a good learning from our CEO that I encourage each and every one of you sitting home and watching, observing the council meeting. If you get a chance, talk to your MLA and member of parliament and tell them how much you appreciate or you don't appreciate the downloading from the senior level of government. That I can tell you, my job would be very easier once the citizen talk to their representative at the senior level. Hearing none, nothing else, no more speaker, all in favor. Oppose if any, carried unanimously. And we are moving to joint committee grant, please. Community grant, sorry.
Committee recommendation that pursuant to the Central Cariboo Joint Committee Report number 4, 2025, the report of the Deputy Corporate Officer dated October 15, 2025 be received, and that council approve the recommendations for funding the City of Williams Lake funding awards for the 2026 community grants as outlined in the report, totaling $45,000.
Moved and seconded, Council Flashpoller, Council Beam. Any speakers? Hearing none, before I call the question, I do not praise unnecessarily to my regional partner. This is the evidence. We had a great meeting. City contributed to all these programs $45,000, and Area D contributed equally E, F, J, K. In fact, I'm so happy the regional district contributed more than the city contribution. Yes, there are more areas, probably bigger area, probably bigger population than the city municipality had altogether. Maybe not, I don't know, I never paid attention, but they contributed almost $47,000. The total money contributed is $92,105.18. Thank you, Director Forsett, who's in the audience, and please convey my regards and thanks to the other colleague from the regional district. I have said thank you to the board meeting, but because this is our house, I have to convey them loudly, thank you. And it's again evidence of working together, your present council and mayor's office, how we work together with the regional partner, with the provincial partner, with the federal partner, with anybody and everybody for the sake of our benefit, including our First Nation leader. Anything else, please? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. And the next is the community grant year-end summary, was that? Yes.
The recommendation that the report of Deputy Corporate Officer dated December 11th, 2025 regarding a year-end summary of the city's 2025 community grant program be received for information.
So moved.
Councillor Flashpoller, Councillor Nelson, so $39,849 altogether community grant we have given. And yes, if you didn't get it, your application did not get accepted, that doesn't mean we don't appreciate. Council appreciate each and every group who apply, but if you was not successful, there has to be some reason, but keep working. Whatever we can do, we will do our best. Any comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. I got Central Cariboo Joint Committee schedule meeting, please.
The committee recommendation that pursuant to the Central Cariboo Joint Committee Report number 3, 2025, the agenda item summary of Lori Schick, Deputy Corporate Officer, Cariboo Regional District, dated October 30th, 2025, be received, and that the 2026 meeting schedule for the Central Cariboo Joint Committee be endorsed as included in the agenda, with the meeting times to be starting at 5:30 p.m.
Moved.
Councillor Nelson, Councillor Flashpoller, moved and seconded. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Poll of council, letter to provincial government.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Legislative Services Assistant Coordinator dated December 10th, 2025, the poll of council conducted on December 5th, 2025, authorizing a letter be sent from the Mayor's Office on behalf of council requesting the province to reconsider moving forward with Bill M216 and the new Professional Reliance Act until such time as they have engaged in meaningful consultation with local governments and professional organizations to fully understand and assess the potential impacts to local governments and their residents be ratified.
Yes, moved and seconded. Councillor Bain, please.
Thank you, Worship. I just want to, as a lot of it is in correspondence as well, I think it should be, could we amend it to share it as people are sharing that they've also responded? So, yeah, because it looks like it's being shared.
Yes, we that's not a problem.
Does it usually?
Yeah, excellent.
Oh, it
Excellent
is
point.
always shared?
Yes, yes. Excellent
Oh,
point.
okay.
Mr. Maraca, please.
Yeah, your worship to Council Bain, it's been sent to all municipalities.
It has.
All
Copy, like we're getting copies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I just
we
didn't
were
see it
getting
was
copies
on
and
there.
it's gone to everybody. People have responded already.
People are
It's gone to
responding as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more speaker? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. And the poll of council grant clarification.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Legislative Services Assistant Coordinator dated December 11th, 2025, the poll of council conducted on December 9th, 2025, authorizing council to amend the grant application to the Green Municipal Fund under the Safe and Active Schools route stream for traffic calming along Western Avenue to apply for $125,000, with the city providing $25,000, be ratified.
Moved and seconded, Council Flaschholer, Council Moses, all in favor. It's unanimously carried. And the next page is, okay, William Lake Daybreak Rotary.
The recommendation that the report of the Director of Community Services dated December 2nd, 2025, regarding further information on the Williams Lake Daybreak Rotary Club's proposal for a musical playground equipment installation in Kiwanis Park be received for discussion.
Moved and seconded, Councillor Flaschholer, Councillor Moses, anything to discuss further? Councillor Flaschholer, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I believe there's some direction look for from council here. So I just wanted to just weigh in on this. I feel that planning is super important. And we right now have had so many groups and so many different individuals of the community talking about how they want to see development of their passions. And I think the Rotary Group has done such an incredible job in supporting Kiwanis Park. Kiwanis Park, though, is a Class A park. Like, it gets so much use, but it has only a certain amount of space. So as much as I really think it's wonderful that they want to do this, I feel that the aspect of making sure that we get our parks and recreational master plan done so that we're looking at a big picture is equally as important. So myself, I support option 1 or option 2. Option 1 being based on the current support of this project, limit the installation in 2026 to 6 pieces. This would allow for assessment of the park and potential upgrades before adding additional equipment or utilizing large areas of green space. And then option 2 was pause the project, hold until 2027, and assess best areas of Kiwanis Park to be utilized in a spread out area rather than one larger space. This would allow for project inclusion in the Parks and Trail Master Plan. So myself, I don't want to hinder the efforts of the Rotary Group, so I think actually option 1 is probably the best. We put a few items in, but we still leave Kiwanis Park available for that future projection and planning, because we're talking a potential expansion of a spray park. We're talking about potential expansion of a playground. If we all of a sudden put everything in, we would be possibly taking away the space for that. And I think that planning part is really, really important. So I support option 1.
Thank you. I'm not going to disagree with you, thanks to the president of the Rotary Club, Mr. Andrew Sandberg. But my question to the staff is, wouldn't this matter fit with the regional recreation or parks plan? Why cannot we have our partner? The regional district have always helped us. They have worked together. We just passed a resolution, accepted the report from the joint committee. Why this cannot be sent to regional district and seeking their input at the same time? If we make a decision tonight, I don't know, is it worth it sending or not? Question to Mr. Sheo.
Your Worship, this is a project that's done by the Rotary. They're putting up the funds, so there's no request to the regional district, as well as the in-kind work would be done by City of Williams Lake staff.
I see.
So the only thing is that you could include it in a future joint for information, but we don't have an ask for the regional district.
Okay,
There's no
but,
ask.
okay, I gotcha. But then if it's a friendly amendment, I would respectfully request to the mover and seconder, or nobody's moved it yet, but if somebody going to second Council Flaschholer's option, I would add with it that the CRD Joint Committee be brought, this information be brought to them for their information. Yeah, moved and seconded. Yes, you moved the option, and thank you, Councillor Bain. So my addition that joint, the information be forward for their information to the joint plea. Is it okay, Councillor Bain?
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. And I do appreciate that as well, that things should be where we want to make it as a team event. Anything with parks, I think, should go. But I agree with putting a pause or just doing a few of the items that are more easily, like, there's no reason to not do a phased approach. I actually don't think it means we're not agreeing. We're just hopefully finding best places. So I'm in
Excellent.
agreement. Thanks.
Excellent. Anything from you, sir? Nothing?
No, Your Worship, no.
Okay. Oh, Councillor Nelson, sorry, Councillor Nelson.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I'm in huge support of moving forward with this in 2026. We've had a number of meetings with and presentations from Daybreak Rotary. This is the #1 kids park in our community. It is extraordinarily well used. It is active all summer long. And quite frankly, this is a gift to the community that I think that we need to accommodate and put in. I'm aware that a number of the pieces are arriving in our community already. I do support the future spray park expansion. I also support the additional playground equipment expansion. But we've got a gift in the tens of thousands of dollars right now in front of our community that will only add opportunities for more enjoyment for the kids. The more kids we have in there, the more it keeps the homeless people out of that park. So I think that this is absolutely fantastic. I think it's a great project, and my hand goes up with a huge thank you letter to the Rotary and all the work that they've done, not only in that park, but in Boitano Park as well. So I don't support deferring it. I don't support staging it. This is a huge gift. It's the most active park in our community for the kids. And the more new opportunities and really toys that we can get into that playground, the happier I am. So I won't be supporting the recommendation to put in only 6 pieces. Thank you.
Councillor Flashfuller.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to touch on another point here in regards to planning and the importance of it. I agree with Councillor Nelson. These are amazing pieces that are amazing items that is for the use of our community and our youth. But we also need to look at the big picture. Having only one park, being Kiwanis Park, the one go-to for our community when you have youth, is actually not good planning. That's why planning's so intricate. So when we have these donations coming from amazing groups that are supporting financially, installing this, we could be utilizing these donations for new park areas to try and get that established so there's other areas for community members to go to. Because always just putting everything in one park, we got to remember that these are assets that we could potentially be putting in other places, that's creating new places for family members and youth to go. And that has to be part of that big picture planning. If we're constantly always just knee-jerk putting it in one place, we actually could be lessening the ability of other parks to be as awesome as this Kiwanis Park is. And that's where I say planning has to be #1. Thank you.
Thank you. I couldn't be more thankful to the Kiwanis people for year and year who work at the same time to the Rotary people who are working hard. It's nice to have a chair of the club who's born and raised in the community. He knows inside. He loves these park for the children, for the elderly people. There's hardly any time, because most of the time come from that road, there's hardly any time when I'm coming or driving by, there's nobody there, regardless of winter, summer, whatever the weather is. I appreciate it. I wanted to congratulate to Mr. Sandberg, his dedication, his heart in that park. This is another reason why we need more locally born and raised people in the leadership, and my hat goes to them. Anyway, the option 1 is on the table. Any more discussion, option 1?
Your Worship?
Please.
I think the reason why the Rotary has put so much emphasis into this park is the two recommendations from here is the renaming of the park is on the agenda from Kiwanis to Rotary Park. They put a lot of time and effort and resources into doing the upgrades in that park. We just passed pre-approval for $175,000 for an upgrade for the softy ground rubber in and around the equipment. Because it's the park in the community for our children, it's congregated by the community day in and day out. That's why I see the opportunity that's in front of us. The spray park that we've gotten there, we don't even have any planning dollars in the budget for an upgrade of that particular spray park. So we're years and years out. We've got a huge opportunity by accepting this gift, putting it in play, put the new equipment in, and look to the long-term plan. But when you're getting a gift at this point in time, when we know how tight the budget is, I say you capitalize on the gift, continue to give the kids more opportunities in that park down there, and look to do expansions in other areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Beam.
Thank you, Your Worship. You know, I do agree with Councillor Nelson on this point. Like, I mean, we don't want to say no. I mean, it is such a huge gift. I wonder if this is something that we could reach out to the club again and just say, like, my only thing would be is if there is areas that we are doing this master plan, and to be aware that like stuff might have to be pulled out. Like I feel like that's the part I need to tell them. It isn't that I'm against it. I feel like just letting them know that our bigger project is to do the expansion, it may not be this year, it may not be 2. You're right. It may not be for 10 years, which is, I agree with you, Councillor Nelson. So as long as we're giving them the heads up, because I agree with you, it's a huge gift. It's a huge project. It's a huge investment. You just don't want to do that in 2 years, be yanking it out. And that's my problem. It's not to accept it 100%. Tomorrow, it has nothing in my head to do with that, as opposed to that if it interferes, then we do put it in that green space and then we're digging it all back out. Like, I just feel like they need to be part of that as well. And you know what? Rotary has put more things in the park than anybody else, with the flag, with the block. Like, they are invested in our planning. And so I feel like this just, like, I don't know if we defer it or just like with, you know, accept it. I'm willing to accept it all based on talking to Rotary and asking them, Daybreak Rotary, is if that's okay. Like, do you want us to do it all? We are in planning. It might not be this year. Like, we're probably able to go in just fine.
Propose me in words. Propose me in word. What are you moving? You're amending the whole resolution.
Well, I'm saying that, you know, I'll support putting everything in it with a meeting with Rotary, that this could to do with that, like somehow that there's a meeting with Rotary about this future of this.
Mr. Maraca.
Maybe the CAO can help me here.
Thanks, Your Worship. So to Councillor Bayman, and I had a lot of good discussion. The idea or the concerns would be exactly what Councillor Bayman said. Like, so the idea behind this is right now, the playground at Kiwanis is the jewel. It is where the kids want to go play, but there's a lot of equipment there, and staff's concerns right off the bat is there's no shortage of equipment. What there's a shortage of right now is a shortage of green space for a kid to kick a ball. Like, you know what I mean? And the more stuff you put around there, everybody's got to be on a piece of equipment and not be able to be any kind of enjoying the park. But that's a decision of council to make. But if Rotary's okay with this, and Councillor Nelson made a great point. I mean, of course, your Parks and Trails master plan that you have in this year's budget is going to identify Kiwanis as the jewel. That report is going to tell you that you need to expand your playground equipment, and that report is going to tell you that you have to expand your water park. That's a fact. That's going to happen. So when that happens, that doesn't change the fact that eventually you may not have the tennis courts there. That could be future construction as well. So to Councillor Nelson's point, there just has to be the idea that this stuff can be pulled up and it can be relocated, it can be taken out and maybe moved somewhere else, that it may not stay there long-term, but it is something that can be done, and if that's the will of council. But right now, you're lacking space. Everybody wants a piece of Kiwanis. There's a lot of parks out there, and everybody wants a piece of Kiwanis because it is the jewel. It's where all the kids go, but with the addition to the equipment, the exercise equipment, the sail, and all the other things we put in there, it's getting pretty cluttered, and we need more trees in there is what we probably need for shade. and less equipment. But anyways, that's a
So-
staff recommendation.
In other words, Councillor Bain, what you're suggesting is we should,
Option 3.
sorry, I didn't hear you, Councillor Nelson.
Option 3 says continue with the project as presented with all 18 pieces to be installed in the Central Green area space between the spray park and the fitness equipment.
I don't think Councillor Bain has suggested that. I got it. Councillor Bain has not.
He's ready
Yes,
to help me
please,
with
please.
Sorry, Your Worship.
Yeah,
So
go
maybe I
ahead.
didn't elaborate. So it's exactly, Councillor Bain was saying that she would support the extra equipment, but she just wants us to go to Rotary.
And talk
Not
to
putting
them.
words in your mouth.
Yeah.
But go to Rotary and say,
Yeah, and-
your stuff may come out in 2 years and it may go
you
right
okay with
past,
that?
are you okay with that? And it may not get reinstalled. I think that's what Councillor Bain said.
I got you,
Exactly.
Councillor Fletcher, I got you. And that's exactly what I was going to say. You are saying to put everything on hold,
Not on
direct the
hold.
staff, hold on, direct the staff to go talk to the Rotary before we proceed with it. Am I correct or no? Thank
To
you.
inform them of future plan. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Flashfuller. Now it's clear to me.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm sorry, but having, been involved with the municipality as long as I have and installing something and then removing it is not going to be an easy process. And there will be like community members going, what are you guys doing? It absolutely looks ridiculous. And I think, honestly, the Rotary group is an amazing group. And they're here to support our community. They're here to support our community today. They will be here to support our community tomorrow. And I can't see why they would go, yes, I understand this planning aspect. And you know what? Yeah, maybe we'll just do this part, phase it, and then we're here to support you thereafter. Maybe, I just can't see them saying it has to be right now, all of it. There's got to be 2 ways to this conversation. Planning is everything, people. And I've been in too many meetings here where I see user groups coming in and going, hey, we need space. And then in the back of my brain, I won't even bring it up, but I've seen space that's been just given away to other groups. It's just sitting there because it's not being utilized. And that is poor planning. It's the key to everything for a successful municipality. Thank you.
Well, right.
Your Worship, I've got one final comment as well.
So please go ahead.
Thank you very much. And I think it's great dialogue on this particular issue. If you go to the first page of the report, it very clearly indicates the Williams Lake Daybreak Rotary is pleased with the Kiwanis Park, has no plans to amend their request to an alternate city park location. So the discussion has been had. It is now a political decision. It gives us the pure flexibility, Your Worship, to leave in place the opportunity for future growth with the spray park, additional equipment. This is a gift. Let's not kick a gift horse in the mouth. Let's say thank you very much. We're pleased and rename the park tonight, and let's get on and get these additional opportunities put into play. So I'll be supporting option 3.
I hear you, Councillor Bain, please.
Thank you, Worship. I am going to also agree with option 3 with the whole involving that communication with Rotary, that there are other things that might happen. And so that as long as it includes the amendment of staff consulting with Rotary.
So in other words, what you're saying is, before we make any decision, we should direct to staff to talk to the Rotary with the wish of the council, then come back. They're not going to do anything next 2-3 weeks.
No.
So we can make the decision first meeting during January.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Maraca.
Your Worship, and just for clarity, this is not a complete gift. There's a financial contribution from the city of
Staff,
Williams Lake on this. They'll be added to the budget from anywhere from $19,000 to $27,000.
Okay.
To 26 budget.
So amended, it would be included in our budget then, include the amount tentatively in the budget because
So,
it's keep
are
it in the budget. I don't know.
No, let me work it out rather than leaving no instruction to the staff. What you're saying is, put everything on hold, staff be directed to talk to the Rotary Club and convey the feeling of this council and come back with the recommendation. Am I
Yes, Your
correct?
Worship. Yes, Your Worship, that's,
Thank you. I need second of your, sorry, we had the motion.
there's
Yes.
another motion on the floor.
Yeah, we have to, you're making the amendment. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Or, well, no, it's not an amendment, no.
Your worship, I don't recommend this being an amendment because this is a complete.
Totally
Okay,
different,
okay.
yeah.
I got
Deal with
you.
the first
So we
one.
have to deal
Okay,
with the
let's deal
first.
with the first motion. All in favor of the first motion, moved in second, option 1, oppose? Motion defeated. Now you make the amendment or next new motion, please. Councillor Bain?
Oh, yep, I'll move, well, Councillor Nelson moved it earlier, to move
I'll
button 3.
I'll move option 3 with the dialogue with the, continue with the project as presented with all 18 pieces to be installed in the central green space between the area of the spray park and the fitness club, and further discussion with the Rotary take place. Thank you.
Is that enough
Is it
for you?
not confusing? Hold on, guys. No, it's a confusing.
It's not, it just needs more. So
So
once
to
we,
defer the motion to January, to next meeting after a
And
conversation
it means,
with
that's
Rotary
the
about
motion
that.
I'm looking for.
yeah, but your worship, if Rotary says they're okay with this, I kind of, staff would like the direction to say, if they're okay with this and they give us an email correspondence saying they're okay with this, that staff proceeds with including it into the budget and we go
Yes,
forward.
that's what I'd
I
like.
need that kind of decision.
Yes.
If you guys are.
I will make that motion, or
Okay,
Councillor
okay,
Nelson.
say it in the words, please.
I would like to make a motion to do option 3 after conferring with Rotary Club that this, whether they, that it may be coming out later with, after talking to our staff, that there could be issues, but that if it is fine with Rotary, they're okay with it being installed and possibly taken out again, then it'd be directed to staff to go ahead with the full.
You clear?
Yeah, worship, that's but with that though, and then we add the end, and once that's confirmed,
The
that the
budget.
amounts be added to the 2026
And then the amounts be
financial
added to
plan,
the
knowing
plan.
that we could be not utilizing that money for a couple of years and it could be gone after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Granted.
fair enough. Moved in, I need seconded to your motion.
I assume Councillor Nelson will.
Councillor Nelson, you,
I'll second that, and I've got a comment.
you betcha. Got moved in seconded. Councillor Nelson, Councillor Flashfuller.
I support the recommendation, Your Worship. I don't think I'll be looking to tear it out. We're just going to be doing a Parks and Master Plan. That's going to take a year or two. And then on top of that, we haven't even got in the budget to replace the spray park yet. So we're 5 to 10 years out of really doing anything else except accepting gifts for at little or no cost for the municipality. So I think this is great. It gives the thumbs up, puts it into the budget, gets it rolling, and we'll have some new opportunities for some playground equipment thanks to the Rotary Club donation. Thank you.
Any more, Councillor Flashfuller, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I just want to comment because I feel that us paying to install something and potentially take it out and then be paying for possible reinstall is just a waste of taxpayers' funds. And I do not see how installing this is all of a sudden going to make it where a playground or a spray park expansion is going to happen. That is the discussion at the table. If we approve this, there's the potential that we will not have the space for these other 2 expansions. Am I correct in that, Mr. Maraca?
Please.
You worship the Councillor Flashbowler, and then further to Councillor Nelson's point, yeah, it could be a few years out, but the reality is things will have to move to facilitate extra equipment.
Exactly.
You won't have a piece of musical equipment standing in the way of 300 cubic yards of concrete. So in the future, it can be removed. Yes, that would be a reality of the situation. And that could be of some of the other stuff. But the more stuff you put in there, the more reality is something's got to come out to make more things.
Exactly.
Kiwanis will always be a playground and water park. All this other stuff is extra.
Okay, so that's my point. I do not support paying for something that has the potential of being removed in the future. Thank you so much.
Well, I opposed the first motion, but the thinking that we're going to direct the staff to go back, talk to the Rotary Club. If they're in a position to have the 6 toys or whatever, half the work done, and we'll go back. That's what I was hoping. But now I'm stuck between hard place and rock. You need more money, and we have to remove, we have to do that. I guess, Councillor Moses, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I can see the strengths on both sides of this debate like so much. I would have no problem with supporting either side and feeling like we did well by our community. And I feel like that just goes to show that this is a great situation, not a bad one. We're trying to decide on the better of two good choices. So I don't know why this is taking us 45 minutes to determine. Can I call question?
Yes, please. Question being called. All in favor of the motion on the table? Oppose, if any? A motion carried. Councillor Flashfuller be recorded, please. And moving like committee of the whole council report, Kiwanis Park renaming.
Committee recommendation that pursuant to the Committee of the Whole Council Report number 36, 2025, the report of the Director of Community Services dated December 1st, 2025 be received, and the Council support the concept and principle on the opportunity to rename Kiwanis Park in partnership with the Williams Lake Daybreak Rotary Club to Kiwanis Rotary Park, and the Council policy number 157 be waived, and further that Council confirm with both the Kiwanis and Rotary organizations, locally and regionally, in writing that they support this initiative.
So moved.
Moved. I need seconded. Councillor Bain. Any discussion, Councillor Bain? Oh, sorry. You just hearing no. Councillor Nelson, please.
Well, this was a bit of a request came from the Daybreak Rotary, and I want to thank the Kiwanis and the Daybreak Rotary and all the nonprofit organizations that have really helped build our parks and key projects in our community. And doing the rename and leaving it the legendary Kiwanis Rotary Park, I think is absolutely masterful. It really thanks two key groups in our community that has helped build one of the, in my opinion, the key golden jewel of for the kids in our community. So this recommendation, I think, is the compromise to keep everybody on the right track. And as you can see earlier on, we had some great opportunities with investment. So thanks to Kiwanis, thanks to Rotary and Daybreak Rotary, I'll be supporting the recommendation and looking to rename the park. Thank you.
Thank you. Equally, I have received a lot of people called my office, stopped me here and there. They supported, they opposed, and everything. When I talked to, after receiving the newsletter, and when I talked to them, and people are agreeing to the compromise, like Councillor Nelson said, I would definitely be supporting. Councillor Flashfuller, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I just want to also mention, this consideration that's come to council. It was recommended by the Rotary Group, which was great. That they thought outside of the box and said, you know what, this is a good kind of compromise. We also agree. But I also want the community to know that part of this recommendation is that council confirm with both the Kiwanis and Rotary organizations locally and regionally in writing that they support this initiative. So that was part of the discussion of this council too. We do not want to just hammer something through without making sure that we are paying attention to both groups and that both groups are supportive of it. Thank you.
Excellent. And good compromise, like everybody said, all in favor. Opposed, if any, carried unanimously. Next one is a minute of the Cariboo Joint Committee.
Clerks note that the minutes of the Central Cariboo Joint Committee meetings held November 26th and December 1st, 2025 be received.
Moved in second, Councillor Flashfuller, Councillor Moses. Any addition, deletion? Once again, thanks to the Regional District partners for working together. All in favor? Opposed, if any, carried unanimously. Letter of support to request from the Golf and Tennis Club.
Clerks note that pursuant to the request of the Williams Lake Golf and Tennis Club in their letter dated December 5th, 2025, Council support the club's application to the NDIT Recreation and Infrastructure Program for funding towards their Forward Tees development project.
So moved.
Moved. I need seconded, please. Moved and seconded. Yes, I had the delegation to my office the other day. I told them because it's a little different or bigger project, so we have to go to the council. I'm sure they're watching us eagerly. If not watching the council meeting, they'll be waiting for somebody to call them tomorrow, which I have told them I'll be calling them, and hopefully council can provide them a lot of support. Any comment, concern? Hearing none, all in favor? It's unanimously carried. Thank you, everyone. In camera item, please.
The The recommendation that the in-camera report number 2, 2025, regarding the 0.3 FTE disclosure clerk position for a one-year term be included in the disclosure unit established at the Williams Lake RCMP be received for information.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any question, concern? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Item number 2, please.
Recommendation that the in-camera report number 3, 2025, regarding a full-time disclosure clerk position for a one-year term at the Williams Lake RCMP dedicated to dealing with a disclosure to Crown related to body-worn cameras, now legislated for each uniform member to wear, be received for information.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any question, concern, comment? Please.
Your worship, just I think again for the community and stuff, you guys would be remiss by not stating that this is the repeating of the $100,000 that council committed last year to have more boots on the ground for enforcement in the downtown core. These two positions in total add up to that $100,000 again, and that will increase the police presence and their ability to deal with any kind of street disorder and stuff as well going forward. So this is
Thank you, sir.
This is just continuing on with your commitment from last year, and I think that it's important that it's not new positions. It's just based on a previous.
That is the money we are after the provincial
This is
government.
part of the downloading
Yes,
amounts.
that's what we've been pushing.
Yeah, and this adds up to the $100,000 you previously committed.
Excellent. And what I have received, my office have received a lot of compliment from downtown area and including the police officer. I have spoken to numerous members and they're very happy the way things are going. And main thing is the business community is very happy at the decision council made it. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. And council information package, please.
That the council information package for December 16th, 2025 be received for information.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Anything somebody wanted to bring it up? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. And CO update, please.
Your worship, I think this is a mistake. I think now that roundtable is back in, I'll take my turn at the roundtable.
Oh, you're going to wait for the roundtable.
Yeah.
Counselor.
That's the way it was
Okay,
before.
Counselor Nelson.
I just
Roundtable.
wanted to, roundtable, thank you very much, Your Worship. Just wanted to wish everybody all the best in 2026. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. This is our final meeting. Just want to thank staff and the community. There was a lot of projects that we undertook in 2025, and a number of them are rolling into 2026. I do recognize the thunderclouds that are out there. I'm certainly hoping and anticipating that we'll make our way through those going into 2026 and 2027. There's a lot of uncertainty, but as a community, I think we are in a very good, solid, healthy position. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and thank you to all my colleagues. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councilor Bain.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I want to echo my fellow councillors' sentiments of Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I just want to also thank all of the organizations that help those that, like the breakfast that we just attended last week for the Child Development Center. And I just want to also say that, and that's what I was looking on my phone, I had taken a picture that right now used socks, mitts, or gloves are at the Giving Tree. Like there was something going around on Facebook that the library's collecting those sort of items for people, and so is the Arts Center, and donate mittens, even mitten matchmaking, and if you have a single mitten is being donated at the Cariboo Memorial Rec Complex, and Total Ice. So they're trying to make closely matched mittens. So just don't forget that there's those kind of options, and hopefully to help others at this time. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Councilor Moses, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yesterday was the 10th anniversary of the release of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada Calls to Action. The calls to action provide a clear path for all levels of government to work together and repair the harm caused by residential schools and to prevent future harms from happening in the future. And now, 10 years on, we have the opportunity for reflection and renewed commitment. Since 2015, we've seen meaningful change and progress across the country and here in BC, including especially right here in our community in Williams Lake, where we've been taking reconciliation very seriously under our mayor and CAO's leadership. We are one of the few municipalities that are providing more than just lip service in British Columbia. Just look at our official community plan, for example, or at our permissive tax exemptions, where we're setting an example for the whole country by including First Nations culture alongside other cultures and religions. Today, I brought some Truth and Reconciliation books for each of my colleagues that were given to us from the BC Assembly of First Nations. So these little books show us the 94 calls to action that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada provided us 10 years ago. So I'm really proud of our community. I'm proud of our council, because we're in a timeline right now where some organizations and politicians are reaching towards fear-mongering and racism, and we're setting good examples with bold steps forward. So happy holidays, everyone. Big thank you to all the organizations out there who are keeping everyone fed, sheltered, and warm this season. You're my local heroes. Thank you.
Councillor Flashholder, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, like my colleagues, I want to just send a big happy holidays to everyone and to the community. And please stay happy, take care of your family, take care of others. That's key. I also want to extend a thank you to Ruth Lloyd for all of her work. I can hear her in the background typing up like crazy through this whole meeting, and I believe this will be one of her last meetings here, and I just thoroughly appreciate all of the efforts that she puts in and coming into these meetings. Yes, absolutely. So I just want to bid her a farewell and a thank you. Over and above that, I just wanted to mention to the community that I believe maybe the economic developer can confirm that the coffee shop should be operable at the airport or close to. And then I also would just say to that, it would be really awesome if we did a media release, maybe the city, of once it is operable and hours, to encourage people to be able to try and attend and be there.
We're working on, and the manager's office is working on
Which would be
collaborate.
great. So happy holidays to everyone. And I'm not sure if there's, whether that is still happening or it's not operable yet, but soon.
So we're just waiting for the health unit to give them the sign off, and then
Perfect.
they're scrambling it, and we will absolutely, it will not be until the new year now, but when it's officially open and the coolers are stocked, we're going to have a grand opening celebration for them.
I've been thinking about going up there myself and just
Yes.
going to get a coffee, but I'm also like, is it operating right now?
it's
Is it
not
closed? Is there a
quite-
flight or not? And
Yeah, it's
that's
not
where it would be
quite there.
nice.
We're waiting on a permit. So,
Okay, perfect.
But
So
very
it
close.
is in the near future,
Yeah,
maybe
very
in the
near
new
future,
year, and then just to encourage the community
Yeah.
to support that entity. Thank you.
Everything in order, just waiting for the people to say, go ahead. And earlier Sunday I was there, I was hoping to have a cup of coffee, but we can't go above and beyond the authority, so we have to wait. Mr. Baraka.
I'll wait till you go, Mayor.
Oh, you were going to wait till after. I was hoping I would be the last person. Well, somebody been reading my notes. I don't know whether Council Nelson or Council Flashpoller. I wanted to start by saying thank you, Ruth. Hats off to your dedication, your work, you've done it. Attending the meeting with us and keeping the community informed, really appreciate it. I'd like to wish you good luck in your future. And hopefully we'll keep crossing our roads here and there in the community. I know you're not moving away because we can't afford too many good people living the community. Salvation Army campaign, cattle campaign going on. I've done my duties. I'm going again on Saturday. I believe it's 2 to 4, but hold me to this. It's on my page, and they are looking for a lot of dedication. And they raise a lot of money. Please come out and help them. Their number to call is 250-2423, extension 202. Is Sarah Jackman, I think is the girl's name. If not, call me. I'll put you to the right people. They need your help. And last but not least, Ms. Beankamp and myself, whatever I could, we've been working a long time for the city's endowment fund. In this fund, we are hoping to have enough bigger part to build and the community can utilize the dividend out of that. We got some donation. There are a lot of good people in the community. I'm not at the privilege to tell you anybody's name, and it's anonymous. If you wanted to be part and parcel of those funds, please come forward, call my office, call Ms. Beankamp anytime. And if you wish your name should be kept the way you want it to be, we'll do the best is to do that way. And that is from me, but also I think today's evening meeting would not be complete if I don't thank in particular to my good colleague, Councillor Moses. He has kept my office up to date, up to speed, whatever's happening. Yes, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations and thanks to the First Nation people celebrating on their part. We are all one. We are all one citizen of this country, this community, this province. And the end, and not, I have to put my Santa hat. I like to send everybody Merry Christmas and season greeting from my family to your family. Everybody, folks, I could not move one step without this wonderful stuff. Thank you, Mr. Maraca, your leadership and your supporting staff. Yes, you're the only staff member for the council, but I call your staff my staff. It's a community staff, and we really appreciate it. It's no BSing, it's bottom from my heart. And you know how much I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now your turn.
Thanks, Your Worship. So I'll just echo the same thing to everybody. Merry Christmas to everyone. And I think that I just want to recognize what I think it was a great year this year. And I'm very thankful to all our staff, everybody that's involved, and all the great things that they do every day for the residents of Williams Lake. And I think there was so many accomplishments. I don't even want to start to name them, but everybody should be proud, including council, of everything that we've done this year and what we've accomplished and all the things that, all the directions that we've wrote together. And I think that I just want to acknowledge all the great things that have happened this year. So it's been a great year. Happy holidays to everybody and looking forward to the new year.
We could only achieve all what we done and with the help of our wonderful, wonderful staff. Mr. Coupe, please. Even Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Ms. Pinkham, please. Anything?
Just a quick community update that Williams Lake has been involved with other members of our business development community in transition planning for the people affected and impacted from the Drax Mill closure, as well as keeping an eye sort of on the bigger region and what the impacts to the West Fraser closure in 100 Mile House has happened. The mayor has sent a few letters with some policy direction to one to the premier and one to the Minister of Forests for things that we're advocating for in our community. And so certainly our hearts are with those people that are impacted. We haven't forgotten them, and we certainly also need to remember the contracting community that is also impacted. And we've got, I just want to assure people that we've got our eye on it the best we can. There's lots of noise from other communities, and unfortunately in Williams Lake, this is not our first rodeo. This is not our first time doing transition planning, and this is not our first time looking at curtailments in the forest industry. So just some assurances that we're on it and we're looking at it and working away every day to see what we can influence locally. Aside from that, again, kudos to the staff team here at Williams Lake. We work hard. It's a hard job, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. And I would echo what Economic Development Manager said. Saying one letter a day is totally wrong. I sign multiple letters every day. Staff keep me busy. Read this, finish this, let us know what you think. And I tell you, the staff is marvelous. This council couldn't get anywhere without the staff. Thank you very much for Ms. Pinkham. Mr. James, please. Anything from yourself? Merry Christmas? Okay, thank you. James is a man of very few words. Anything from Ms. Lloyd, please?
college covering council, GBC, and staff. You've always been very helpful in getting me the information I need. So thank you for that. And, I look forward to continuing to see you all. And, have a Merry Christmas with your family. And don't worry, I'm sure you'll see me around in some capacity or another.
Thank you very much and happy holiday. I like your shirt, by the way. Anything from our good friend, Director Forsett, please. Thank you. Anything from you, sir? As the audience, I've never allowed it, but today I'm in a good mood. I'm going to allow you to pass your Merry Christmas. Yes, sir. Mr. Pickford.
He's standing at the fountain of democracy, which is never taken for granted, and I've been here for a while, so it's good to see everybody happy. And, let's keep the happiness going in 2026. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to each and everyone. And motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor. Merry Christmas. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. I have not wasted any second. Look.